Do we have sound now?
Tell us,
Hello?
people, do you have sound?
Hello? Hello? Where's the sound? Can't hear you. YouTube's usually behind, so let's keep an eye on. Aha!
There we go.
All right,
let's do the intro again.
Let's
Gareth.
do the intro again. That was the practice
Great
run.
start.
So, hello, my name is Gareth, also known as Mordred Viking, and joining me here today we have Eilidh.
Hello, I'm Eilidh. I'm one of the content designers in Hearts of Iron, and as I said before, this is probably my first time having a good try at the new DLC, because I actually work on the content packs.
Yes, and I am working on Good to Dameron currently in the bug fixing phase, making sure everything is working as we intend it to. So what are we planning to do today?
Well, we are planning to do a beginner playthrough of Germany with Get to Dameron, but we're also still having some more sound issues. Super quiet, glitchy. Might need to do some fixing before we get properly started.
Everything's kind of maxed out at the moment, so
okay.
I don't know how much more I can give you. Let's literally try maxing it out. How is that? I may need to call in our friendly producer man.
Our tech people.
Yes.
Might be worth it.
For doing this. Let me just go and send the message.
Apologies for the technical issues, people. It's just naturally happening.
We're doing it live.
Exactly.
This is when everything goes wrong. Okay, so hopefully we'll have a tech in to help us with that very, very soon. Like I said, I've turned everything up to maximum. That's also in maximum. Yeah, we've dealt with everything that I can possibly... Maybe mic up?
Is this incredibly different from your usual setup, Gareth?
Very. This is way more fancy. Usually, I have my screen, I have a second screen, studio lights, and then a green screen. All of this is new.
It's all new.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a streamer, so this is alien to me.
So how exactly is the audio bad? Quiet and bad quality. Bad quality. With mics turned to max. Popping and clicking. Oh, so that's static.
Okay.
The sound sounds very crisp.
Yeah. Okay, so staticky.
And still very low.
I've messaged Naval, so we'll see if we can get some help.
Yeah, there's no one sitting here, so.
Okay.
But yeah, so you know.
We will progress with how we can until we get some help.
Yes.
This is beyond our abilities. We're just the developers.
Yeah.
they leave us alone with this type of thing.
Yeah, they just throw us in this room and they're like, oh, you can stream now, and then we
Good
figure it all
luck.
out.
Lock the door.
Literally. So shall we just...
You think it's the camera? Oh, so it's picking up camera audio.
Okay.
That I might be able to fix. Go to here, then sound settings, output, input, microphone. Ah, but we have dual microphones, so I don't know how that's set up. I'm not going to touch this because my setup is very different from theirs. But I think what we'll do is we'll try to start, just so we're not wasting too much time, and we will work out the volume as soon as we can. Alright, so Noble's listening in the background. So
Okay,
hopefully
perfect.
get some help.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start a single player game.
Let's find the mouse first. Where is it going?
It's currently up there.
Oh, why is it up there?
Just go down.
Ah, there we go.
There you go.
We're going to start a single player game.
Yeah, just so you guys know, if we're looking up like this, we're actually looking at chat, because we've got a massive screen up there at the top, and then probably the widest screen I've ever seen down here at the bottom, and the mouse is connected to everything. So if it gets lost...
Yeah, if it's up there, it's never coming back, basically. That's all there is to it.
So we're doing 1936 start. We're going to play as Germany. So
Yes, we are.
And then so country. So this is the nation select screen. So from here you can also choose which country you're playing as. We're just going to do regular difficulty. We're going to leave Iron Man mode off so we can play with the console if we need to. And then most importantly, we're going to leave historical AI focuses on. That means that the AI nations will try to play as historically as they can. So yeah, that looks good. We're not going to change any custom game rules, so just hit start.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, for people wondering, we are having sound issues, but we're looking to get that fixed as soon as possible. So please bear with us until it's actually fixed.
Yeah, we have good people working on it in the background.
Yes, exactly. So here we are, Germany, the German Reich in Get to Dameron.
Indeed. So first things first, I would say is let's check out the focus tree.
Oh, can we show them the screen?
No.
That's not allowed.
There we go.
It happens every single stream.
Every single time.
Definitely aren't on purpose.
Listen, we're developers. All we're good at is scripting.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the focus tree.
Okay, the new German focus tree, which, if I recall, is absolutely humongous. Humongous. But we're not going to look at everything here. We're going to focus on historical, right?
Oh, the mic's working on this scene. Huh.
Oh, well, let's just keep it this way for the rest of the screen.
Yeah, so we're not going to use the host screen. Okay.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, everyone.
So just take a second to explore through that.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we've got a much bigger tree for Germany, which was quite popular, very well requested. But today we're going to be mostly looking at the historical focuses for Germany, not so much on the alt historical, because we want to keep it beginner friendly, right?
Exactly. And we have tried to make this ultra beginner friendly by putting great big banners around the historical focuses. You can see that with the two banners on the sides. So we are going to be starting with remilitarize the Rhineland. So go ahead and select that one.
Perfect.
And this is going to give us some political power, gives us some army experience, and will also increase world tension because, you know, Germany is rearming, remilitarizing.
And what's the point of a war if you can't cause world tension to go up?
Also, I'm going to turn the microphones down a little bit again as they were maxed out previously.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing we want to do is click on the German flag. I want to take a quick look at our economy.
Okay.
So we can see our conscription, our trade, and most importantly, our economy laws. And the reason I want to look at this is if you hover over the crossed guns, that's the economy law, partial mobilization. And this is important because we can see we're getting a military factory construction speed. If you click on that,
Okay.
usually you'll start with civilian economy, if you hover over that one, which has big penalties, particularly to the factory construction speed. So personally, I don't like building factories from the start. Instead, I like building infrastructure because there's no penalty to that.
Oh, that's smart, yeah.
But because we're on partial mobilization, you actually get a bonus to building factories, military factories. So let's start building some factories first of all. So let's go to the grain excavator icon-y thing.
Yes. Build some factories. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. I mean, starting on partial mobilization with Germany is important because the whole thing is we need to be starting everything here. We need to be kicking everything off.
Exactly. So let's start out with some civilian factories. Usually do that until mid 37, possibly early 38, depending on how industrial you want to be.
Do you have any preferences where we build these factories?
So my suggestion is look for the green 80%, anywhere that is green 80% or higher.
Okay, and do we want to shift click multiple build or just select one for now?
Let's do shift click. So shift click basically allows you to max out the production in that one state of that factory that you have selected.
All right. We'll put some here in, where is this?
Sachsen.
Sachsen. We'll put some in Sachsen as well. And we'll also put some here in Hessen.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
So there on the left, we can see we have 15 out of 15. That means we have 15 of the maximum 15 factories working on it. And then Sachsen has 5 of the 15. So the rest of them basically are working there. And then we have Hessen basically as a backup. So as Brandenburg and Sachsen get finished, they'll then move on to Hessen once they're done.
Exactly. So it just sort of trickle down eventually.
Exactly.
So you can queue up as much as you want and not have to worry about coming back unless you want to actually micromanage everything and make sure your factories are off to good use.
Exactly. All right. So next up, we have got technology. So let's go to that. And we have 4 research slots,
yeah,
which is really nice. So go ahead and select one to research. And there is basically an unwritten rule in Hard2Survive. You always start with the same 3 technologies, which is research, construction, and production. So if you go to the industry tab, yep.
Yes, let's start with industry.
So then you want to get the first production one, basic machine tools, research that, then go to the second one, and then do construction, research that, and then go to the third one. Then you want to go to the tab to the left of it and start working on electronic mechanical engineering.
Yes, we want that research speed.
We do indeed. And then the fourth one, you can basically use whatever you like.
All right. Well, what shall we do, Gareth? What do you think? Do you want to increase our weapons? Do you want to start looking at tanks?
I don't know. What do you fancy doing? Do you want to use a lot of airplanes? Do you want to use a lot of tanks? Do you want to good guns, artillery.
I feel like using tanks this time.
Okay.
Okay. So shall we start researching our improved engines, or should we go and look for our medium tanks?
So the improved engines are ahead of time. You can see there on the left and the right, you got the dates when things become unlocked. And if you hover over improved engine, you can see it's 2 years ahead of time. That means it's going to cost dramatically more research time than you'd like. However, you've got the armor one, which is still available, which is behind times and will be twice as quick.
Exactly.
So you probably want to start with that one.
Let's get some armor then, so we can build our own tanks. Oh, MIOs.
MIOs. So this is going to be the next question, is what kind of tanks do you foresee yourself using?
Okay.
So the basic options are light tanks. They're very quick. They are... that's the main thing. They're quick.
Yeah.
They don't have much armor. They don't have a huge amount of firepower, but they can provide a good amount of oomph to get breakthroughs and then really exploit those breakthroughs. You have medium tanks, which are good at smashing away through a front line and then have a bit of the agility of the light tanks to then exploit that. Then you have the heavy tanks. These are your heavy sloggers. You can usually use them in two roles. Either you can put them with the infantry to act as what we call infantry tanks, where the infantry then become just a lot more hardy. And then the second one is basically anti-fortification to smash their way through like the really heavily fortified areas. So of those three... Oh, and then we have assault guns, which are new with Götterdämmerung. These are big cannons stuck on the front of a tank, usually as kind of a support artillery, self-propelled artillery type thing.
Yeah. I think it might be worth going with medium tanks.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to look at. But remember that when you're picking an MIO, you are going to be spending some of your political power per day to actually use it. So, you got to outweigh the bonuses. But whenever I play, I always pick an MIO. I find that the bonuses outweigh the negatives.
Yeah, the bonuses on MIOs are really, really strong. And actually there for the medium tanks, you have two options. You have man, which will boost the medium tanks themselves, generally increase the breakthrough. Then you also have standardized production, which just means you can get more of them. Exactly. So you can either go for quantity or quality. Here we're going for quality.
And as you can see here, by picking an MIO to research this with, we've knocked down the research days a bit. So you're going to get this a lot faster. Perfect. So we got our research done, Gareth. What's next? What should we do?
Let's take a look at industry.
Okay. Industry.
And it's really helpful having those tabs at the top because it kind of shows you everything that you still need to do.
So you can see them here.
Yep.
Like our production lines.
So at the moment, we are producing a bunch of things. We've got infantry equipment, that's guns, support equipment, artillery, light tanks, motorized, light aircraft, fighters, close air support, and then medium bombers. A bunch of ships. We'll deal with the ships after this. But for the moment, let's just focus on the green ones. That's
Absolutely.
land stuff.
And the benefits about playing Germany is that you get to kind of experience everything from the start, and you don't have to spend a lot of time building up to any of these things. So like Germany has production of almost every kind of equipment that you would need. So it kind of lets you get more used to it. So generally, this is why we suggest that Germany is a good country to start playing when you're playing Hawaii for the first time.
Exactly.
Oh no, I've lost the mouse. It's gone.
It's up there. There we go. It's
We're
back.
returning back. Okay.
So one other thing you may want to do when making a decision about what you want to produce equipment-wise is also look at your logistics, which is the tab over there on the right, two to the right. And this shows you your stockpiles. So you can see at the moment we have a deficit in terms of fighters, well, all of our aircraft. We have a shortage, and we have a slight surplus of everything else. So we probably want to be recruiting more things because we have a little thing called Anschluss coming up.
That's true. We need to prepare for that.
So we probably just want to be chunking out as many cheap troops as we can at this point, and then we can start shifting to tanks once we have slightly better technology for that. And I would also say the same for aircraft. Generally, I don't produce many aircraft until I have good aircraft tech. As Germany, we actually start with pretty good aircraft tech, so we're totally fine to do that. So yeah, go back to the production tab, and then you have another 8 factories left to spend.
Oh, yes, so since we're going to be mostly focusing on our cheap troops, let's start splitting these between infantry equipment, support equipment, and towed artillery. Let's add a bit more here because we need to stockpile these some more. So let's go for 4 here. We've got plenty of factories working on infantry, so let's do another 4 here for artillery as well.
Okay, good. So those are lined up. Then next up, let's start actually recruiting some troops. So we have a few in training. So these are our divisions. We currently have 5 of them: infantry, tanks, motorized, mountaineers, and then cavalry. We probably want to be sticking with infantry for the time being. So if you just press edit, let's take a look at what the division template is. So this is the division template. We currently have 9 infantry and then 2 support companies, one being engineers, one being artillery. It's not terrible. Like, we will probably make some changes to it in the future once we have some experience.
Yeah, it's pretty bog standard, and this can do the job. But obviously, if you're more familiar with kind of how the templates work, then you can make these edits. But for now, do you want to save it as it is?
Yeah, I think, well,
Yes.
we have to. We have no experience to spend.
Exactly. That's true. That's true.
So yeah, just go ahead and hit train. And then there are two ways of training these units. You can either hit train constantly and then just get a bunch of individual ones, or you can add unit, which I think is just a lot neater. So just do that until you can't anymore. And if you hold down shift, you can do multiple.
Oh yeah. There we
And
go.
there we go. So the number of divisions you can train is dependent on how big your current army is. So because we have probably 100-ish divisions, we're limited to 22. Once we deploy those, that limit will then go up even further.
Exactly. Okay. So shall we deploy these somewhere to say where we're going to train them?
Usually I don't set a location because then it will warn you once they're ready to deploy, and then you can remember to actually assign them to an army.
Ah, that's smart. Okay, perfect.
So I think maybe where this says infinity, just make that a 1. So you only have the one line of these units being trained.
Okay.
And then you can go back in and train another batch once you are ready for it.
Sounds fantastic. Okay. So we've got our troops getting recruited, and we're going to prepare for whatever war is coming up. I think it might have been called the Second World War.
Possibly.
Yeah. So we need to do some more preparations. We've got the troops ready. What's next, Gareth?
Let's set up our armies into some kind of basic formation. This isn't necessarily going to be how we deploy them ultimately, but at the in the top flags you have the red guys saluting you. If you hold down shift and press that, that's going to select every single soldier in your army that is not currently assigned to an army. So then in the bottom we have the two pluses, the green plus and then the grey one. If you hit the green one, this is going to assign everyone to an army. I just do this because this allows us to get a good overview of what we have. So we've got infantry, we've got tanks, we've got motorized, a couple of cavalry, and I think also some mountaineers towards the bottom. There they are. So then what I would suggest doing here is double-clicking any of the infantry. This is going to select all of the infantry of that type, and then hit the green plus. And that's filtered all of the infantry into its own army. Then if you go back to the 6, double-click the tanks, put them in an army, go back to the 3, double-click, or in fact, these are just individually sorted. I'm sure we can work with this. It's
This
fine.
could be our scrappy army.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then we probably want to select all 3 of them. So if you hold down shift, not those 3, sorry, the 3 armies, and then press the big plus, this puts them into an army group, which is commanded by a field marshal. And you can have up to 24 divisions in an army and up to 5 armies in an army group, modified slightly depending on your general stats. But we'll worry about that later.
Yes, of course. So now we have our army selected. Should we think about generals?
We probably should. So yeah, let's select the 3 scrappy units.
3 scrap units.
And then click to assign. And then these are your generals available. The number of generals at the start is now somewhat limited. However, you will unlock a bunch more as you go through the focuses.
Yes. So who should we assign to our scrappy boys here?
So these are kind of auxiliaries. So probably someone a little lower level.
Like Friedrich here?
Yeah, let's go
Yeah,
Paulus.
let's go with him. All right. And then we have our tanks.
Our tanks. So we need to think carefully about who we want to put in charge of probably our most valuable units.
Absolutely.
So almost certainly somebody from the top of the list.
Okay. So do we have any panzer leaders?
We do. Armor officer. So we've got Erich von Manstein, who is doing that. But actually, there are 2 categories you want to look at here. You've also got cavalry commanders, which can improve the strength of any motorized that are attached to them.
Okay.
Because cavalry technically means cavalry and motorized.
Okay. So it covers both. So for this situation, we've got our tanks. Do we want to go ahead and have Manstein be in charge?
I think that's probably a good choice. And in fact, if we just take a quick look at his traits, the very first one, the sword, brilliant strategist, is really important. He'll be at the bottom now.
Yeah, there we go.
Is a really important one because this gives him +1 attack and +1 planning, and also unlocks the aggressive assaulter field marshal trait. Then we also have some like, it's not student, Kesselring, who has the defensive traits, which gives defensive bonuses. These are probably the 2 most important traits in the game, so you want to keep an eye out for those.
Okay. And the great thing about Manstein is he starts off with getting a new trait, a general trait. And the choices we have here are Fortress Buster and Scavenger.
Honestly, I don't think I would take either of them because the traits that you have are limited. Those are decent traits, but for a tank commander, not amazing. So what you probably want to do is wait until he's got some combat experience and then give him Panzer Expert or Combined Arms Expert.
Sounds like a good idea. Well, we've got our general in charge of our tanks. Now we need to think about our infantry.
Infantry, exactly. So if you close that, because it will always remember what army you had selected previously. we need to choose our infantry commander. So kind of similar to Munstein, we probably want to look at an infantry expert
Okay.
like Witzeben. But then we also want to think about their strategic traits. So whether they're defensive, like Kesselring, or offensive, like Bock at the top. So kind of for Kluge.
So for infantry, what would you suggest is the best? Do we want to go more offensive? Do we want to go more defensive? I mean, we are kind of going to be going on the offense, so we might want to think about.
Especially early on, because our first war is most likely going to be against Poland, and we want to capitulate that as quickly as possible. So most likely offensive, and then in the future we can get someone defensive to sit on the Siegfried line against the Maginot.
Okay. So shall we think about maybe taking Bock? Because he's got some traits there.
He does. Bock is actually an interesting one because he also starts with Harsh Leader, which increases his attack even more. He's another really good candidate for a tank leader or a motorized. I'm thinking actually maybe Kluge here because he doesn't have that. So if you want something else ultra offensive, then we can assign Bock to that.
Okay, perfect.
So this is like general offense. So let's go with Kluge. Cool. And then Field Marshal, the last slot available. This is going to be the guy who's in charge of everything. Half of his stats apply to absolutely everyone. And then if he has any Field Marshal traits, the full value of that applies. Like the first big shield is a Field Marshal trait.
And as you can see, we only have one available to us right now. Blomberg.
So I guess we'll choose Blomberg.
Let's go for it. So we've got our army set up. And Poland is looking very, very, very delicious, I would say.
But before Poland, we're going to have the Spanish Civil War.
That's
So
true.
we'll wait until that happens, I think.
So as you can see, with like for those who are new to Hawaii, the beginning of the game is very much a lot of setup before you even start thinking about the time going forward.
So next, let's take a look at Navy.
Oh God, Gareth, no. I don't like Navy. So Gareth, you're in charge of this.
So the German Navy at the start of the game is pretty easy. The easiest way to select those is on the right-hand side under the date. We have three icons, Army, Navy, and Air Force. And if we choose the Navy tab, that's going to select all of our navies. If you hold down Shift and click on them all.
Oh.
You go back to that one, you can do it again.
Oh.
If you click on the names, I think it's easier.
Okay.
That selects all of the navies you have at the moment. Then if you right-click on, let's say this port down here.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm pointing at the screen. That's going to move all of the navies there. Then once they arrive, we can basically merge them into one big fleet. And then from there, we can start dividing them out into actual fleets. I find generally the historical fleets aren't very useful when it comes to gameplay.
Okay, perfect.
So we don't need to worry about that anymore. The other thing we need to check is the naval production. So if you go back to the production tab.
Production?
Germany tends to start with an interesting set of naval production. So we probably want to tweak this a little bit. So the first thing I usually look at is when ships are finished construction. We're kind of lucky that they're actually in order of when they finish construction. So what we want to do is fill in the dockyards for all of them from the top. So basically, as these ships get completed, the dockyards will then be automatically filled into the next one down. So if you do all 10, not just 5, there we go. So small ships, you can do 10 dockyards. The capital ships can only have 5.
And then we just head down here.
Yep. And then once these are done, we are building multiples of certain ships. For example, the bottom ones, we're building 4 at a time. If we just reduce that to the 1.
Reduce the 1.
The plus and minus.
Oh. Just keep shooting down. Here we go. Okay.
Get down to 1. Yep, same thing. And then at the top, we have submarines, which I think have the same problem. So go down to 1 with these. And the reason we're doing this is because we are almost certainly going to want to change the design of the ships in the future. I usually let these complete because they're already partially done and they're always going to be useful. But then going forwards, we want to design our own ships. But we'll worry about that once these are actually complete.
Absolutely. So that's Navy setup so far.
One more thing to do, and that's going to be special projects. We have a facility.
Special projects. Okay, where is our facilities? Because this is very, very new to me.
So currently it is there next to Berlin, but the easier way of selecting this is if you right-click on the research tab. Because this will automatically open up the experimental facilities thing, and then we need to assign a scientist, much like assigning a general. We have 2 choices. So you have Eduard Grote, which is Grote, I guess, who is a tank specialist. And then we have Edward Heinrich Emil Becker, who is an artillery specialist. The nice thing about him is he researches things faster because he has the brilliant scientist trait. So we probably want to use him.
Okay, let's go for it.
And then we have 2 choices. We can either click on that tab right now, which will open up the facilities, the technologies which are currently available. We start the game with one land breakthrough, so we could get military engineering vehicles or flampanzers, flamethrower tanks, or we can just leave him there unassigned, in which case he's going to be increasing our research speed slightly and then also generating breakthrough points. So it's a choice. Do you want to wait for one of the other
Let's say
projects, or
let's wait for now. Let's see how many points you can accrue, and then we can maybe look at some of these later projects when we're probably going to need them more.
yeah, okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Then we'll leave him.
And then next thing I would say is bump up the speed to speed 4 and then on pause and see where this takes us.
As Ride of the Valkyries plays, let's go and start the game.
Okay, so time is now passing. Knowledge is power. Study hard, be evil. I love that Family Guy quote.
Yeah, it's great. First achievement right off the bat. Perfect.
See, we're good at this.
Yeah, oh my god. Pro gamers.
So at the moment, if you click on the German flag, we can see the focus ticking up. That's the main thing we're waiting for at this point. It's probably even safe to go to speed 5, just to let that go. Just keep the hand ready on the spacebar, ready to pause rather. And then once we have remilitarized Rhineland, we'll need to make some new choices.
Okay.
So do you have any plans of how you're going to execute this? Who you're going to attack first?
Well, it's got to be Poland, right? But first, we got to make sure that we Anschluss. And also get the Sudetenland.
Yep. So we've paused as soon as this event pops up. So we've got remilitarization of the Rhineland news event. This is just a news thing that tells everyone, hey, Germany's doing things.
It's ours.
And then we can choose which next one to go for.
All right, so our next focus. So we have done remilitarize the Rhineland. We need to look at what we want to do next. And it's quite a long bar. We have to figure out where we want to go.
It is. And in fact, if you zoom out even further, there's even more to the left. Or you can use the army, the air force, the navy, economy, and politics historical to zoom around this a little bit more quickly.
Shall we continue to focus on politics for now?
We could do politics or we could do economics. Getting the economic stuff going is also usually a decent choice.
Shall we think about the 4-year plan then?
We can. So there are two options here for Germany. We've got prioritize economic growth, which is a bit more of a slow burner, but with high potential. And then we also have the 4-year plan, which is economy of conquest. Basically, the more stuff we attack, the faster our economy grows. As we're doing historical, that's probably the one we want.
Those flags tell us this is what we got to do, so let's do it. I mean, whenever I play the game, I'm always looking to get my industry up and running as fast as possible. So
Me too.
let's go for that.
Okay, then on pause and let things happen. And in fact, we have over 100 political power now, so we could think about assigning an advisor. Let's wait until we have 150, because at that point we should have everything available to us now.
It looks like Italy's doing stuff in Africa.
Okay, good for Italy. Good luck. In fact, if we look down in Africa, we can kind of take a little bit of a look to see how they're doing. And just leave it on pause and just watch colours change.
Yeah. We're not allies with Italy yet, so we can't exactly see, and we don't have any, what's it called?
Intel.
Intel. So we can't exactly see what's going on here in Ethiopia, but Italy, I believe, is the only country that starts off at war in Hawaii.
Yes, that's correct. Then the next war to break out will be the Spanish Civil War, usually. Unless you're playing on alt history, in which case all of the civil wars possible will probably start.
Exactly. It's going to kick off eventually. We're only at 4% world tension. Could get worse.
Could.
Things are peaceful for now.
It will get worse. I'm pretty sure.
The start of it.
With Mustache Man in charge, it's going to get worse.
Exactly. All right. So what are we waiting for again for the political power before we put our...
So once you hit 150, that's when all of the different options become available. So I usually wait for 150, then I take a look to see what we can do.
Sounds like a good idea.
So we're at 148.
So close.
149. The tension is palpable. 150. Okay, so let's take a look at the 3 advisors next to the economic law.
Okay, let's go back to Germany first and then look at the advisors.
So these are the people available. The ones which are not grayed out are the ones that we could get right now. So we got the Mifo Bills architect. So if we hover over Hjalmar Schacht, we can see that he's going to decrease consumer goods factor, which is good. We'll explain more about what that means in a second. Military factory construction speed, dockyard construction, decent. What about the Reichsminister of the economy? Consumer goods down 10% as well. Lack of resources, free repair, supply hub. So more useful if you're actually at war, which we're not.
Okay.
Reichsminister for Labour.
Let's see.
Production efficiency base. This is going to be more just raw output of equipment.
Okay.
Useful later on, but not immediately, I would say, because right now we want to try to get our actual industry up and running.
Exactly, and we're allowed to swap these guys out later. So for
Yes.
now, let's focus on what we need to do.
Although once you've spent the political power, it's spent.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Then we got Curl, who's going to increase political power gain, party popularity, research speed reduction. So immediately because of that, I don't like him.
Yeah.
Although the weekly will support reduction from enemy bombing is super helpful if you're up against the Allies, especially when America joins.
Yeah, perfect. And then we
Hadric,
have
who is our intelligence guy who will be providing operative slots. Definitely not important at the moment. So of these, I'm kind of leaning towards Hyax, but don't select him just yet because the next thing we want to take a look at is the industrial concerns.
yes.
So these are the industrial design companies effectively, and these can also give a variety of bonuses. Farben is industrial research speed, synthetic research speed. Krupp, I think, is just industrial research, which can be good. Siemens is electronics, which will be, interestingly, research stuff. Research of research speed.
I mean, it all adds up, and eventually, I mean, like, at least in my opinion, making sure that you're ahead of the game instead of technology is one of the better strategies you can have here.
Mining company, research gain efficiency, not that useful right now. Railway, same thing, more useful in the run-up to the war. Construction company, I really like.
Ooh, that's
Boosting
good.
the infrastructure, although we're not boosting infrastructure at the moment, so not actually that useful. RWE, consumer goods, but less than the others, and nuclear research, and then the conglomerate. This one's really nice, but requires us to have established the Volkswerke focus completed, so we can't use that right now. So kind of leaning perhaps towards probably the MIFO guy. The other options we have would be military high command, theorists. Too early in the game for that. Like right now, our absolute focus is economy.
Yes, and of course, at this point, we could also change our conscription laws, but we're not going to do that right now.
No, we have 1 million people waiting to be recruited, so
So let's go for Mifo Bill's architect.
I think so.
All right, that's that money spent.
Okay, and that actually was quite cheap at just 75 political power. So not bad.
Okay,
All right, let's go on pause.
back to the grind. So we do have a bunch of warnings up here, but they're not worth worrying about for now, right?
No, so the first one is we have no transport planes, no naval bombers, even though we're missing that equipment. The second one is we're building obsolete equipment. That's going to be the old submarines. The third one is going to be we have decisions to take, but I don't think there's any valuable to us right now. Pause.
Yep. Also, I see my audio is quieter. Is it where I'm at on the mic? Is that better?
I can also just turn you up.
Okay, that might work.
I can turn myself down
Keep
too.
us in the loop. Keep us in
Yeah.
the loop.
I have what's called streamer voice. I definitely get louder when I start streaming.
Yeah, and I'm not used to streaming, so this is actually my first time streaming ever, so please forgive me. I'm trying my hardest.
And I'm just going to very quickly see if we can change the Twitch
Absolutely.
thing. Don't know how to do that easily. That's there. Can I open a tab of Twitch on here and will I be logged in automatically? I'm not going to do that on the main streaming page. It's up there. Good. Here. Here. This is the benefit of having a streamer. I know how this works. Got this. So just bear with us just a second. Here. Change the category to.
Yeah, I hope you guys like the new CK3 DLC.
Hope you've been enjoying it. There we go. We're now officially playing Hoi.
Perfect. There we go.
Sorry, TK.
Yeah, we
Okay.
stole your thunder for a bit. Okay. Oh no, the mouse is gone. There we go. 4-year plan.
Done.
Okay.
So next up, let's take a look at the focus tree again.
Yeah.
So I know from experience that there's a really important one we want to get, which is the inflation price controls. We really want to try to get that one as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So that's just under the autarky effect.
Yes. So let's go for autarky effect.
I think so.
And get this going. So it locks our free trade and export focus, but we do gain autarky.
Which gives us a couple of bonuses. And this is probably a good opportunity to talk about MIFO builds, because I know that there is some confusion and concern about MIFO and how they work. So if we go ahead and start this,
okay,
then click on the flag. In fact, we're on the flag already, so it's fine.
Perfect.
And then one of the 5 national spirits is going to be MIFO. I'm going to guess it's the one on the left.
Yes.
No, it's the second one. Okay, so MIFO bills. Consumer goods factor will increase by 3% each month up until 100%. And below that, we can see that we currently have 16%. So what this means is our economy is going to get steadily worse and worse and worse while MIFO bills is active. Inflation controls will reduce the rate of increase,
Okay.
which gives us a bit more time. And then the big way of reducing the consumer goods factor that's already been built up is by going to war with people and then stealing their stuff.
That could be an option.
That
for sure.
that is what this means in very basic terms. So the longer you stay not at war and not successfully conquering people, the worse your economy is going to get. But the upside is this does give us a couple of bonuses, most importantly being the military factory construction speed, which isn't relevant right now, but it will become relevant. And also, as we get things like autarky efforts and the other bonuses in this branch, the MIFO build bonuses are also going to improve quite substantially. So this is going to be good to keep around.
Yeah, so we want to keep an eye on our MIFO bills. Make sure they're not getting too out of hand and we're keeping that under control.
Exactly.
Okay, good stuff. And we're working on that with our national focuses as well.
Yes, and we're going to get a couple of free factories, which is always a nice thing to look out for.
Then let's get time ticking along again.
Let's do it.
How's chat looking? Oh, Turkish Strait's been remilitarized.
Roll.
The world is falling to pieces. Chat's looking good.
Checking chat. Hi, chat.
Hello, chat. How are we doing?
And just for people who I'm sure have been asking, this is not pre-recorded. I'm going to say it's not pre-recorded. The first person to say something in chat, we will then... I was going to say we'll repeat it, but that's a very dangerous thing to say.
That could be dangerous. Gareth.
All right, chat. What is the lowest digit of Panzer that Germany can get? I don't know how this is going to work, actually, because I can clearly just say Panzer 1, and I'm not actually repeating what people have said.
That's true.
Never mind.
Yeah, it was an attempt. Also, yeah, the chair is not here today. We're just, unfortunately, I've taken the place of chair. Chair is a very valued employee at Paradox Interactive, but couldn't make it today.
Yes, unfortunately. We'll do something with chair in the future.
That should be the next stream, right? Just Gareth and chair, Just forget me. I shouldn't be here. Get the chair back in.
The chair was indeed popular.
Okay, it looks like our research is finished.
Excellent. So open up the research tab and let's see what we can get next. So that was the arm of the tanks.
Okay.
So we could go ahead of time if you wanted to try to start doing that. I mean, any time accrued is obviously good time. Or we could go for one of the other things, maybe take a look at airplanes, see if we're behind the times on that.
Let's have a look at airplanes.
Actually, it looks like we're pretty decent, except for the strat bombers, but I don't think we're going to use them particularly.
How are boats looking?
Boats are looking okay, considering what we do.
Okay. Artillery?
Oh, we're a little behind on artillery.
Yeah, maybe we should catch up on that. Should we look at anti-war?
Yeah, interwar artillery, anti-war artillery.
No, we are the perpetuators of the war. We're stopping war with our artillery.
I do like that, though.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go ahead and research this. Choose the...
artillery or assault guns? What do you think's better for us to start upgrading?
So the assault guns, if we choose to do SPGs in our tank divisions, can be nice. Or if we just want Rheinmetall for just better artillery. I would suspect probably the artillery manufacturer, just because we're going to be putting artillery in all of our infantry divisions.
Exactly. That's a good idea. We'll go for this. Plus, a lot of the newer stuff, while we do want to showcase it, this is mostly for beginner friendly. So
yes.
we don't want to get too in-depth today. Perfect.
A little bit of in-depth now and then, but not too much.
A little bit, a smidgen.
And in fact, because this is beginner friendly, let's take another look at the experimental facilities, because I think we should choose a special project and just get it researching in the background.
Okay, let's get started then.
Because we do have two good options here. So the super heavy howitzer costs 2 breakthrough points. It's too expensive. We can't choose that right now. But we do have the Flammpanzer, which is good for adding flame tanks, which have extra breakthrough, so you can punch through enemy lines more easily. Or the military engineering vehicles, which can give you basically upgraded support companies. For example, armored engineers and military motorbike police. Or what's the third one? I know there's a third one. Helicopters are the other ones.
Helicopters. We won't be seeing them for a while.
No. That's going to bug me now.
I'm going to be a sicko. I want flamethrowers.
Okay, let's do the flamethrowers.
Okay.
And hit start, and then that's going to be ticking along in the background.
Perfect. I did see some questions in chat.
Signal companies, that was the
You
other
got
one.
it. What nation do you enjoy playing the most, Gareth? You can't say Belgium.
Curses. North Belgium.
North Belgium. Oh, okay, fair enough. For me, it's
and as a Dutch person, that really hurt.
I know, that must sting. That must really sting. But you were the guy behind Belgium, so like you've got it's in your heart, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's either Hungary or Sweden. I really enjoy playing Sweden just for the pure fact that I live here, and also you don't have to get into war right away. You can sort of learn the game a little bit.
Exactly. And one of the things I like about playing Sweden is to just become the merchant of death. Just
Yes.
export so many weapons.
Yes. Why? Why join wars where you can profiteer from them in the game? There's so many different ways you could play Hoi.
Exactly. Okay, so we got our focus. So let's
Yes.
take a look at what we can get next. I think there is only one reasonable choice.
Get those price controls going.
So why is this one important? Because it reduces the three consumer goods factories per month down to 2.5, which just buys us extra time. So it's just really helpful. And then it also gives us the price control measures, which are actually really good. Just a free way of reducing the consumer goods early on.
Perfect.
And, sorry.
And then we'll start this then.
Yes. And this is going to lead us to talking about what exactly consumer goods reduction is. So if we go to the construction tab,
There we go.
the consumer goods, you can see there with the toaster and then a 15. That is the number of your civilian factories which are currently dedicated to just producing toasters for your population. So these are factories you do not have access to even though you own them. So the lower you make this percentage, the better. There are basically two ways of doing this. One of them is base consumer goods, which is only now affected by your mobilization law. So as partial mobilization, we use 25% of all of our industry towards consumer goods, and then also the factor. So having MIFO bills is increasing the factor at the moment, whereas Hjalmar Schacht and stability is reducing it, which gives us the together multiplication. So basically any way that we have of reducing consumer goods factor is a good thing.
Yes. So what you're saying now is the people want toasters, but we want guns.
Yeah. Well, the people want toasters, we want factories.
Okay.
So we're stealing toasters and then turning them into more factories to make more guns in the future.
I do like that we represent consumer goods with toasters. Like, it could have been anything, but we picked toasters.
Yep.
Great. Okay.
I guess like in a more modern game would be like microwaves.
Microwaves. Stop making iPhones, people. We gotta get the factories going. All right. So we've got that sorted out. Shall we get time going yet?
Let's go again.
All right.
Political power is 129, so we're getting close to that 150 point again.
Yeah. Oh, we've got an event that we need to think about.
Federal state of Austria, almost said Australia, bans
Austria.
the DNSAP. Word has just reached us. The Austrian
government
Austrian
has
government
issued a ban on DNSAP in the federal state of Austria. A soft ban was already in place since 1934. Though said ban was largely ignored by the political parties and government alike. This signifies a change of tone from the Austrian leadership towards us. Beyond the obvious insult that this is, it might also hamper our influence over the federal state of Austria.
All right, so what do we do with Australia?
Well, what are our choices here? We could just tell them they're being rude, and that loses opinion with them, and then Austria gets an event. Or we can say that they will not lose us that easily, and then it's up to them what happens here.
And forcing them to take Inquart will mean that our requirements to Anschluss them in the future will be lowered. So that's probably the choice we want, because we definitely want to try to Anschluss them.
All right, then they will not lose us that easily. This is one of the new Austrian events, I believe.
It is indeed.
So yeah, we gave Austria a focus tree despite the fact that historically it gets Anschlussed. So you can do whatever you want with that country now.
You can even try to survive.
Fun way to play.
It is. It's very fun.
Okay.
Research is what we just got.
Yes. So we just got our electronics done. So shall we immediately go into mechanical computing? And get
I
that
think
going?
we should indeed go for mechanical computing for that extra 4% research speed. It's also a 1936 tech, so yeah, let's do it.
You always want that research speed.
We do.
Perfect. Then we keep going.
And that's one of two technologies I will often actually go ahead of time in, research speed and construction speed.
All right. So Austria has listened to us, and they've actually put Arthur's Inkart as an advisor. That's good. That's going to make it a lot easier for us in the future, I think.
Dumb question, but how can I make the game fun as a new player? I'm lost in all of the content the game has to offer. I have no idea what I'm doing, watching hours of tutorials, my game paused. Well, hopefully watching this stream will help with that, because we are taking things slow. We're explaining what we're doing and why we're doing it in what we call a beginner-friendly series. So
another good way I would say, if you have friends that play Hoi or are familiar with Hoi, then you can play with them. And honestly, that's how I learned how to play the game initially before I ended up working here at Paradox. It was one of my very good friends actually taught me how to play it. So shout out to him. He's great. You're big. Kane, you're amazing. If you are watching this, I don't know if you are, but you are the one who got me into this. So here we go.
good for Kane.
Exactly. Let's go. So Anschluss is going to be a little bit easier. That's good.
Good.
We don't want them rebelling. We want to make this as easy as possible.
Actually, I have a general question for you in chat. How did you get into Hoi? Like, how did you discover it?
Yeah, I'd love to know that. I'd love to know how
Curious
and
about
why
that.
our fans got into the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my own background is I played a really old game called Making History, which was a turn-based Hearts of Iron, basically. And I wanted something with more depth and discovered Hearts of Iron 3, which definitely had more depth.
Yeah, definitely. And then what made you end up playing Hoi 4?
Because it was the next one from Hoi 3.
Slow and steady development.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So after making history in Hoi 3, I then got really into Europa Universalis, which I dominated my time for years. And then Hoi 4 came out, Stellaris, CK, Vicky. Basically just been ever so slightly addicted to Paradox games.
Yeah, I find that they generally are quite addictive in that sort of sense. And you started off in Stellaris here, didn't you?
Yes.
Working with them.
Well, technically I was a freelancer working on EU, but then after that, Stellaris. That's what made me move to Sweden.
Yeah, perfect. For me, it was very much just I was a big fan of Paradox games. I play a lot of CK3. That is mostly what I played at Paradox. And then I saw the job opening for Hoi, and having played a little bit, I was like, well, you know, I could probably make this. I could probably do it. And here I am. Here I am streaming for you guys now.
I'm one of the few that kind of jumped across the aisle. So I started out as a streamer. This is what I did full time for several years. And then Paradox noticed me, hired me on Stellaris, and then the job role for content designer on Hoi opened up. My background's in design, so I kind of wanted to go back into doing that.
Exactly. And now we work together as fellow content designers.
Indeed.
Okay, so we've got a warning saying that we need to deploy our units, so we know that they're coming in.
Okay, so there is a little trick here that I like to do for this. So the guys are already, in fact, first of all, we want to set a location.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that.
Shall we say Berlin?
Sure. And then the little flag next to the 3 that are actually fully trained, so they're the ones with the different icon. Yep, choose those. I think it will deploy all 3 of them. Excellent. And then leave those.
They're good. They're in.
It's fine. It's fine. So then select the 7 that just deployed. Make a new army with just those guys. Then you want to do a garrison command, which is the flag.
Okay, the flag. Oh, sorry, I'm blind. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, army defense. They changed the name.
Yes.
And then basically just click on a couple of the states. Doesn't matter which ones are selected. You want to choose a couple probably in the interior. This is going to be a way of just having your troops automatically go to those. That's fine. And then press enter just to make sure that's locked in. Then go back to the unit recruitment tab. Then the little circle next to Brandenburg, click on that. And then left click on the army you just made. Now, any units that you recruit from now on of this order are going to go into that army automatically. And the reason that this is important is if we now go back to the army.
Okay, back to the army.
And then shift left click on the training cog thing.
Training cog.
So what this is going to do is we're going to automatically recruit those units. They're going to go into that army, and then they'll automatically start training to the next experience level up. And the reason we hit shift is it will only train them until they are regular status. And then at that point, we can basically start to assign them to other armies. So this is just a nice little way to automate effectively your units being trained up to the maximum level. And the reason that we had to do this area command is you can only assign newly recruited units to an army that has an order.
Okay, perfect. Then yeah, so we've essentially set up our own little training camps around the center of our country, make sure that everyone's getting ready for our invasion.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Ready for the meat grinder.
Exactly. Right. So shall we continue on?
Let's do it.
Let's go. I'm seeing some really good stories of how you guys got into Hoi. That's pretty impressive.
Played it once, got crushed, moved back to CK, EU4. I got you into it. Nice.
Oh, there you go, Gareth.
Own all the games, best studio ever. In fact, can I just have the mouse real quick?
Sure.
I just want to scroll up a little.
Go.
So it doesn't automatically scroll. I just wanted to take a look at the stories. Got you into it. Hoi 4 from a squad mate in the Air Force. I Sorrow. Started with Hoi 2, Vicky 1 EU. Games with Brains. Hoi 4 tutorials. That's actually quite a good name.
That's pretty good.
CK, EU. Then over on this side. Campaign of 3 people playing co-op. Poland. Interesting. Equestria at war. Minor countries. Question about the stream. Does one of the devs on Hoi 4 just learn to play the game they worked on? No. I have a lot more experience in this game, and Eilidh wanted some of the tips from this.
Exactly.
And then we thought we'd turn this into a platform to also show you guys.
Yeah, for what it's worth, is that I I can play Hoi. As a developer, it's important for me to play Hoi, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm good at it. And
Yes.
Gareth is good at it, so I wanted him to teach me how to get good, essentially. So we'll turn it into a stream.
It's easy. Just get good.
I wish it was that easy. I wish it was that easy. I get steamrolled all the time.
Because I know from my own time as a streamer, some of my most popular series were beginner-friendly series where I'm basically teaching people how to do it. And we're doing that now on the Paradox platform to hopefully reach some more people and show them how to get into this game.
Exactly. And we have another focus done.
Let's do it. Let's go on to the next one. So I think we're going to continue with the economics. Generally going for economy first is a good option.
Okay, so we can either establish the Reichswerk or we can coal liquefaction.
So I don't think fuel is a huge issue at the moment. So maybe the Reichswerk, because that gives us extra civilian factories. Yes,
And
it does.
Modifying our Mifa builds.
What about the construct the Reichsautobahn? That's also an
The
economic one.
Reichsautobahn.
So that's going to give us full infrastructure in Brandenburg, Hanover, Thüringen, and Franken, which could be nice because the higher your infrastructure, the faster you build stuff in that province. You will remember when we first started the game, we had the 80%. So this is going to make a bunch of them 100%. So it will be a good shout to build some factories in those places. So yeah, let's do that one.
Have you ever driven on the Autobahn?
I haven't.
Neither have I. I definitely want to. I heard it's kind of chaotic.
Yeah, yeah, especially those stretches that don't have a speed limit.
For sure. Another question. How much are most of the devs actually into the min-maxing part of their games, or is it mostly playing for RP doing what sounds cool? Depends on the dev. For me, it's definitely about the RP, right? I like to play smaller countries usually and sort of build a story there. But I know a bunch of our other fellow devs, they're very much into the min-maxing aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning a little more on the min-max side, but I don't like min-maxing just with a spreadsheet in front of me. Like, I do more things because they're more efficient, not because it's necessarily the better choice. And also, I have a really, really big hatred of the meta. I cannot stand metas.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my history is in writing, and I am a big tabletop role-playing game girly, so I really enjoy doing the role-play side of these games. That's why I like playing a lot of CK as well. It's very role-play oriented. But you can also get a lot of sort of RP aspects from Hoi as well.
Yes.
And especially with some of the smaller countries.
Yes, though maybe not as the guy we're currently playing as.
Yeah. Maybe this is not such a great one to roleplay as.
No.
No. So let's keep going as our focuses are completing. We are getting close to another 150
We
per
are,
hour,
so
we'll
we'll
look
keep an
at
eye on
what
that.
we're doing
Oh,
next.
you know what? We should take a look at decisions because we have the price controls.
We do have the price controls.
So price control measures, we have a bunch of different decisions down there, which is going to give us cheaper consumer goods. So let's actually take a look at our MIFO just to see what level it's at now,
Okay.
the National Spirit. So it's currently at 22. So let's see if we can drop it from 22 to something more reasonable, like 0. So if we go back to the decisions,
Okay.
then the different measures will give us different drops. So that's -5, 5, 5, 5. So, oh, there's a 15. Import tariff. So that's going to cost extra to trade. We're not trading with anyone at the moment. So I think the import tariffs would be a really good choice.
Then let's start import tariffs.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So that's dropped it down to just 7%, which I think is just fine.
That's pretty good. Okay, perfect. Someone said if I have a preference of a minor country to play. I said Sweden earlier.
Is
But
it really a minor, though?
as,
Sweden's overpowered.
that's true. You know what else is overpowered? Argentina, because I made it. Minor countries I do enjoy playing. I sometimes like playing as Ireland. Being a Celtic woman myself, I do enjoy playing as Ireland, even though we don't do much there. It's fun to play sometimes. I like creating sort of stories from there.
Mhm.
I think other minor countries I like to play. Hungary's kind of a minor.
Mhm.
I like playing Hungary.
Yeah, especially with this new DLC, Hungary's industry can become pretty mean.
Switzerland can be interesting to play, I would say. I'm not very good at playing Switzerland though.
Need to get you playing some of the naval countries, Greece,
Yeah.
Netherlands, Norway.
You need to teach me how to do some proper naval, because I am terrible at naval, Gareth.
Once we get closer to the war, we'll start doing some naval.
So what we can see here is that we've got a bit of a timeout here. Our Mifa bills reducing.
Yeah, so this basically is just the increase of when MIFO ticks up.
Okay,
So we can just ignore that safely.
nothing to worry about.
Nope.
Let's speed things up a little bit. Oh, as I said, let's start researching, I guess.
Yep, let's
Perfect.
choose the next research. So we just got the machine production. So this has opened up a couple of new choices. So we have the concentrated industry or dispersed industry, and then we also have more production. So this one will increase our production. At the moment, production doesn't matter that much. More that matters is factories and things. So we could open up more factory slots. which could be useful because we're probably going to be maxing out the states that we're already building in, which are
Okay.
the most infrastructure.
That sounds smart. Now here's the age-old question: concentrated or dispersed?
Chat, which one? Concentrated or dispersed? Which one do you prefer? I know which one I prefer, but I know it's also a contentious issue. So generally, concentrated will give you more raw output, but it's only really worth it if you keep a factory on that production for a extended period. I think it's like 2 years or something like that. I don't know the exact maths. I know it's been determined with people better at numbers than I am. And then dispersed is better if you constantly switch between different productions because you build up that efficiency faster. And then also if you're being bombed, it's better. But I'm hoping we don't get bombed that much.
Dispersed, concentrated, dispersed, constant dispersed.
See, it's a very, very close split. I'm going to go with the one I prefer, which is concentrated, just because it's my own personal preference.
Okay, I do prefer concentrate too, but also the chat wants us to go dispersed.
Let's do it dispersed then.
Let's do dispersed. Let's do it.
Okay.
I can change up my strategy for a bit. All right, that's the research done. Let's move speed up to 5 and get that going.
Let's do it.
Because I at least want to try and conquer Poland before the stream is over.
The MIO upgrades always dispersed. That's a fair point. And Germany has a lot of MIOs. So basically every time you get a MIO node, which is related to the stats of that equipment as opposed to the production cost, you need to create a new variant. And then every time you change variant, you lose some efficiency. And with dispersed, you get that efficiency back quicker. So it makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. I never thought about it that way before. So thank you, chat. We did the Reichsautobahn. What's next?
So what does the Ruhr-Dam do?
Gives us some civilian factories and adds a dam. And dams are new buildings in the expansion.
They are, and they increase the construction speed. And I happen to know the Ruhr is a very large state where we probably want to build a lot of factories. So that one could be good. And also it gives us the civilian factories. So yeah, let's build the Ruhr-Dam.
Okay. Oh, damn, we're building a dam.
Damn it.
Okay, we need to not pull all the damn puns out, or we're just going to get absolutely shot down on screen.
But honestly, I just don't give a damn about the puns.
Gareth, no. Let's get back onto speed 5. So I have another question for chat. What speed do you like playing Paradox games in general on? Because I tend to play them on quite a slow speed because I like to read everything. But I know people like to just absolutely turbo these games.
Speed run. Also, the Ruhr-Dam is not on the Ruhr River. True, there are 2 rivers, one with the H and one without the H, and this is the one that is without the H. I actually had to double check. I was like, did we misspell this? No, we didn't.
No. So we got some spicy things happening. Ethiopia is no more.
Oh, okay.
It's now Italy.
July 36, not bad.
That's pretty impressive from them. We're getting that quite quick. Uncertain times, great, but also a little box in our corner where Spain has fallen to pieces.
So I think I think it's time to send some volunteers to Spain and get
Okay.
some fighting doing. So yes, we want to join the nationalists because they are the fascists. And let's go and send volunteers. So the reason we do this is to see how many we can send. We can send 2. So we could send motorized, we could send tanks, we could send mountaineers, we could send regular infantry. We're not going to be able to select it from here right now. So what we want to do is close this screen.
Okay.
Select one of the armies, doesn't really matter which. And then this is a question for you. What kind of troops do you want to send to Spain?
What troops do I want to send to Spain? I mean, I feel like our tanks might be able to help them punch through the lines a bit better because if I'm right, Spain has mostly infantry at this point in the Civil War.
Yes.
So sending some tanks might help them win the war here. So
So
that's what I'm thinking.
There are options. I'll just go over
Okay.
them for the benefits of everyone. So tanks are good for punching through. They're also heavily armored, so generally you won't suffer very many casualties if you have tanks. You can send motorized, which are great for exploiting breakthrough. So if you punch through, then you can take a bunch of land very quickly. You can send mountaineers because Spain's pretty rugged. So having something specializing and fighting that terrain is good. And then if you just want to help them defend, like if they are already starting to lose, sending infantry can be good because their infantry is going to be a lot worse than yours. So yeah, I think it's a really good shout to just move one of those tanks to another division or just open another army. That's fine too. And then select Manstein. In fact, select Nationalist Spain.
Okay.
And then send Manstein to them.
Volunteers and let's send Manstein. He's going on a week holiday to Spain.
And before you unpause, I would actually choose our field marshal and unassign him because you can send a general and a field marshal. We have only... No, don't do that. If you click on his portrait and then unassign. And the reason we're doing this is because it's usually a 15-day cooldown when they're transferring between armies. You've already told him you're not in this army anymore, so that cooldown has started. So by the time the volunteers arrive, he'll be able to take the position of Field Marshal there quicker.
Okay, perfect. Then he's on his way to Spain. I'm going to slow things down because we're now at war.
Took Bilbao already. Nice. Closing that northern pocket.
Yeah.
So once you arrive in Spain, where do you think you're going to send the tanks?
Probably we'd want to try and start taking near some of this territory to kind of circle them in.
We forgot aeroplanes. If you go back to Spain and then send volunteers again.
Spain, volunteers.
And then you have the checkbox, send air volunteers, press that and then send.
Okay.
Okay, so we can send one of our air wings. So if you go to our aeroplane overview in the top right, we probably want to send them either close air support or fighters. I don't know if we can send just 1 or 2 wings. We probably want to send air support.
Yeah. Close air support, fire.
So it's the bottom one of the 98.
Yes, okay.
And then right-click on one of the Spanish air bases.
Where are they? Struggling to see any.
Me too. Maybe you have to be... I think you have to be clicked on Spain. So if you press escape, and then go back to the army map mode, Spain, right-click on Spain, and then do the air.
Mouse is going. There we go.
Nope, that's deselected you again. Is it because... No, they have arrived. Why can't we see this?
Watch, 2 devs try to figure out how to do several things in the game.
Oh, they need to approve it first. That's why.
Okay.
Thank you. Now they've approved it. Now we can see it. So yeah, select the close air support again.
So close air support.
Yep. Now you can see it. There you go.
There we go.
And we can send 2. So send 1 close air support and 1 fighter, maybe.
Okay. Let's go back here.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then if you right-click on Northeastern Iberia, we can give them the order now. And then in the top left, you have the missions. So you want to select 1 on air superiority, and then also you want to select close air support. And then they will automatically be doing that in that area.
Perfect. So, have our troops arrived?
No.
No, they're still traveling.
In fact, you can see when they arrive because we have that new flag in the top next to the research icon. If you hover over that.
Yeah.
If you just hover, let the tooltip open, you can see they arrive on the 3rd of August.
Perfect.
And then, in fact, we have a research slot available, so we should probably do that.
So much to keep in mind. And we've got a lot of research speed because of our
We
focuses.
do, and we have one of my favorite things, which is an ahead of time on construction. So we can get 100% research speed on construction. Let's do that.
Incredible.
Generally, the rule I have for construction ahead of time and research ahead of time is if it's less than a year, I do it. The research speed one, rather.
Okay, then let's get back to it. It should be here on the 3rd of August. One more day. Okay, our divisions are here.
Right, so tell them where to go somewhere.
All right. Let's go and help them down here. Do we set a front line?
A little
Just
one.
a little
Yeah,
one.
a little one.
Let's see if we can encircle them.
Do we want to do that in the south, or do we want to help them close up the stuff in the north?
Let's do the north first. And so all. Now we want to set off an offensive line and just get them going. Do you do balanced or aggressive? I tend to go aggressive.
Usually start with balance, and if they're not doing what I want them to do, I switch to aggressive.
Okay, fair enough. Then we can let them go.
No, I wouldn't do that just yet. Let them
Okay.
arrive first.
Okay.
Because you want to help them build up planning preparations. And you don't need to delete that. Just press the red button next to the
Okay.
go. And then give them the order, which is the plan that you just had.
Okay.
Yep. And then let them arrive, so unpause. In fact, if you press Control B, they'll then use the railway and go much quicker.
There we go.
So this will mean that they need to regain their organization, but that's fine. Because what we're doing is we're building our planning preparation. So next to their level is the blue bar, which is going up at the moment. The first one is planning prep. So you want to wait until that's 40 and then tell them to go. Because that means they'll get a 40% bonus to any attacks they're doing.
I mean, they're probably going to clear this up before we even have a chance for that.
Fair enough.
Let's send them down south. And then we can try and... The Olympics happened. Good for them.
I mean, it was in Germany, so...
I
Yay.
mean, good for us.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's get our front line here and get them down.
Also give them the plan.
Yes. Yeah. Just kind of go along. Oh, not here for first.
And we have 3 factories, so if you pause it. We have finished our queue, so let's queue up a bunch more civilian factories, I would say.
All right.
And now that we have the Reichsautobahn, we have several places with 100%, so we definitely want to fill those up.
Let's get these going.
Franken as well. And that'll probably do for now.
Perfect. So, we also have political power we can spend too, so let's get that done too while we're at it.
How's the situation in Japan? I don't think the China War started yet.
China War's not started yet, no. So things should be kind of chill over here.
Yep.
Okay.
And Chad is right, we should also assign a field marshal.
That's true. Okay. Do the field marshal first.
And he's immediately available because we unassigned him first.
Smart.
And we have loads of political power.
Yes, let's start spending it. Should we get a new political advisor or should we look at our industrial concern?
We could do either. The industrial concern would be good because we are doing a lot of industrial techs at the moment and we will continue doing that. So I think probably the industrial concern.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Now let's let our troops go over here. Oh, a research.
Can you assign a certain number of factories to construction? So there are 2 different types of factories, civilian factories and military. Civilian is always used for construction. One of the new things that we've added is you can now assign them automatically to repairing. So if we just open up the construction tab, just so I can show this off. At the top, we have the new bar thing up there. And basically what you can do is you can automatically assign factories to this and they will work on repairs. So regardless of where repair is in the construction queue, those will work on repairing, just like you can assign dockyards to repairing ships. So that's a new option we've added. Otherwise, repairs do happen automatically over time, but slowly.
Oh, we don't need to worry about that right now.
No,
We're not
we
under
don't.
attack, so... Perfect. Let's get our new research going and then we can see how our tanks are doing in Spain.
We also have an MIO point to spend.
That's true. So we researched our artillery.
Maybe anti-tank, although we probably use our own tanks as anti-tank.
Anything in support?
Field hospitals or logistics can be useful, but I have a feeling that we want to take a look at the infantry techs because we have one which is from 1918, which we haven't even done yet.
Okay, let's get that done then. And shall we research that with Mauser?
Pretty much always Mauser, yeah.
Okay. Then back here to our tanks.
And we also have the MIO point to assign.
Yes, so much to keep track of.
So this is our Rheinmetall, which is the artillery. I almost always, where possible, get production first. So that's going to be the line goes up icon.
Line goes up icon.
Okay. And then the other thing we want to do is actually assign an MIO to our production. So if we go to the production tab, and the usual one to start with would be the infantry equipment one. So if we click on that, then click on the orange icon to the right. Yep. Create a variant. And then where it has the plus, we can then select Mauser and then save. And then click on it again, just the infantry equipment. And then that will assign the new version.
Okay.
No, you need to click on it. There you go. So now we're making Mauser designed rifles, which will have any stats that Mauser has applied to them added.
Fantastic. So, back to the situation in Spain. Our tanks are getting to the front line.
Excellent.
So I'm thinking we're going to just try and swoop in and circle around Madrid.
Yes, and we can make the planning prep even quicker by using one of the officer commands.
Okay.
So we have the 3, the shield, the sword, the shield, and then the arrow. If we click the arrow, that means that they'll get the planning prep even quicker.
Okay, and we're waiting for 40%.
Yeah, 53 now, because we have a field marshal.
That's true.
Why is that not going up? Assigned. Oh, it's because he's being attacked. Yeah, it doesn't go up if you're being attacked. If you're moving, if you're attacking or being attacked, it does not change.
And the road dam has been built too.
Excellent.
So we want to keep going down industry.
I think so.
Okay. That gets us more civs.
Mhm.
This opens up trade with Sweden.
Cheers, one more civ. Establish Reichswerk. That's 2 civs and some steel. And consumer goods factor plus 10. Yeah. Let's go with the KDF wagon.
Yeah, get the cars going. Awesome.
Okay, so our planning prep thing has just ended. We still haven't gained it in the other one, so I'd say just go ahead and attack.
And let's go. Start moving forward.
Yep.
So for those who are not familiar with these little bubbles, do you want to explain what they are?
Sure, so if you click on one of the bubbles, these are the battles.
Oh, that one.
So if you just pause it so we have a bit of time. So this is the battle overview. I'm going to take the mouse so I can actually point at things. So up here we can see the number of aircraft involved. The ones in the left are with the Spanish, or ours. Then the ones on the right are the Republican Spanish, our enemy Spanish, which are theirs. We can see the commander in command of each of these battles here represented. The bar showing the progress, so this is good for us because it's showing a lot of the red and less of the blue. This will shift depending on the value here. And then the tactics. The tactics are semi-randomly selected and will give your side a bonus against your opponent. The tactic chosen is modified by your recon, so the better your recon, the more likely you are to choose a tactic which counters your opponent's tactic. You can see the command value of your commanders. So we have a level 4, they have a level 3. Ours is better. And then the divisions actually in the battle. So this is the overview of combat width. 140 is the maximum number of battalions which can be in that battle at a time, of the width of battalions, and then the number currently present. So we have 40, they have 30 out of the maximum of 140 each. We can see that we have a couple of reserves, including one of our tanks. This number will fill up the units in battle up to roughly the combat width. If you exceed the combat width, then you'll get some penalties, but that's all automatic. So generally, when you're designing a division, you want to be keeping the combat width in mind, which is this number down here. So, for example, if we see these mountains, we can see it has a combat width of 50 with additional attacks of 25. I usually keep the additional attacks number in mind when designing a division. So it wants to be a multiplication of 25. So either 12.5 or 25. So our thing of, what was it, 16? 15? 18, I can't see, I'm blind.
Yeah, okay.
I need glasses. Is going to be less than that, so we're always going to be slightly under the combat width value, but that's fine for this stage. So the most important number here is combat width. So we have 40 out of the 140, but we have 2 extras coming in. So if we on pause, we'll see the reinforcements arriving depending on our initiative. So it's now 46, and then 58 with everybody deployed. Any units which are outside of that number, so if we hit the 140 we still have units in reserve, they would wait until somebody retreats, and the point they retreat is when their organization runs out. So we can see the Spanish Republican garrison unit is roughly halfway on its organization. That's the green bar. And then you have the yellow bar, which is their strength, and that's the amount of equipment and manpower they have. And as they take damage, that strength is going to reduce. The lower your strength, the lower your overall capabilities of that unit.
Going to quickly pause because we've got another research to do.
Yes, we do.
So we just finished dispersed industry. Shall we look at all the sheep?
That's probably still a little too far ahead of time.
Yeah, let's leave that.
Like everything in that line is going to be ahead of time. So maybe go back to the infantry tab.
Okay, yes. Let's see.
We could go ahead of time on that, but I'd say no, that's also too far ahead. We've already got the mountaineers. Sport equipment, maybe we want to go for logistics or field hospitals. Or military police for when we start conquering stuff.
That's true. Let's go for...
Actually, there's one other thing we may want is armored trains, because the Allies have a tendency of bombing stuff. It's very unkind.
All right, so shall we do BRB 52 or BR 57?
I think the BR-57 is the armored one. If you click on it, it'll tell us.
Yes,
heavy armor.
arbitrary.
So let's go ahead and research that one.
Okay. Back to the war.
Yep. Can you amplify microphone a little? Is it me or is it Eilidh who's quiet? Because I can do this individually. then if we just click, oh, you already have it open. So we can see that all of our units deployed. We have 64 combat width against their 30, so we just straight away outnumber them. The sword is the amount of soft attack you're doing, so we're currently doing 2 to 0. There is one other thing I should explain about the Civil War in just a moment. Sorry,
Okay,
once
no
again.
worries.
So this is the soft attack. This is the amount of damage you're doing to like their people. Then you have hard attack, which is the amount of damage you'd be doing to their armored units. They don't have any, so it's not showing that at the moment. The piercing. Oh no, sorry, this is hard attack. So if they had mechanized or tanks, they would be reducing the damage they take as soft attack as a percentage of hardness, and then hard attack basically ignores that value entirely. And then breakthrough. This is how good you are at attacking. It's basically how much damage you resist when attacking. And then defense is how much damage you resist as a defender. So at the moment, the soft attack value is quite low. That is the most important value here. And the reason for that is because we're attacking into an unplanned offensive location. So this is one of the mechanics of the Civil War. And this is going to be reducing the organization loss and the damage taken until one of the Spanish sides does a planned offensive, which will remove that modifier. We as Germany, though, have no control over this. We just need to kind of keep an eye on where that modifier is active.
Okay.
So at this stage of the war, it's probably basically everywhere, so not really relevant.
Just keep an eye on things, yeah. It seems that it's my microphone that's the issue, and maybe that I'm speaking too quietly as well.
Okay, I'm going to turn myself down a little bit again, and then I'm going to turn Eilidh up.
Sure, just keep us updated on the actual sound, and then we can fix it as we go.
Yep,
Perfect.
exactly.
Awesome. Yes, back to the war.
Back to the fight.
We are kind of...
Oh, we have a focus.
Oh, yes, we do have a focus. Oh, and an MIO. Oh my goodness, everything's happening at once. Okay. War industry.
So those are just for infrastructure, which I don't think we necessarily need right now. So maybe get the Reichswerk. Yes, it's going to beef up our MIFO penalties, but it's going to give us more factories. And we can offset that with price controls.
Perfect. Then let's go for it.
Yeah. And speaking of, we should take a look at price controls.
Price controls, yes.
Decisions.
How are we doing?
Yeah, in fact, yeah, we should see how we're doing first.
Look at the
Yep.
MIFO bills first, then we'll... Okay.
So we're at 19. Okay, so we want to try to reduce that again.
Okay. Let's see, what can we do?
So implement rations, stability loss. At this stage, that's probably okay. We can regain it. Scrap metal. We gain steel for 90 days, which as nice as it is, it's only 90 days and it's not really going to affect our economy at all. So I'd say let's just go ahead and do that one.
Let's do scrap metal. And yes, Fraser, you know all too well we have very challenging accents sometimes.
That we do. I could also do a bit of a Scottish accent if I wanted.
I mean, you did it for the Argentina video.
That is true. I did. We've
Wow.
done it now.
Gareth, no.
This is what it's going to be from now on.
Gareth, no.
It's just a wee bit of Scottish.
Anyway, back to Spain.
Aye, back to Spain.
Okay. Anyway, we're still in this battle. It's been going on a while.
So how do you think we're doing here?
Awfully terrible, lad. Awfully terrible.
Okay, here's the rule. Every now and then I'm just going to try to completely throw you by doing a Spanish accent.
A Spanish accent.
Spanish accent.
Manu will have plenty to say about that.
Scottish. I don't think I could do a Spanish one. I don't think I even want to try.
That's quite difficult, yeah. So we're starting to win. That's good.
So yes, the green bubble means we're winning. If it was a red bubble, that would mean we're losing. And if it's one of the kind of grey yellow ones, it's one we don't have intel of and that we're not involved in.
Okay. While we're winning, let's think about our MIL.
Aye, that we should.
God, sends me for a loop. Right. It's our ships. So, this
Okay.
is our specialty.
So this is Blom and Voss, which is the raiding MIO. So this is all about where we want raiders to be. I happen to know that we have a specialized submarine MIO, so we probably don't care too much about the submarine side.
Okay.
This is going to be if we want to send off raiding ships, which we will want to. So I think we probably want to focus on the long-range focus bit.
Okay. We'll grab our point here. Then do we have more MIOs to fix?
Wowza. Again, the rule of always go for industry first, which is line go up, for which we will need either the shield or the spanner. So at this point, it's your choice of whether you think that defense is more valuable or reliability and soft attack.
Soft attack.
Let's do that.
Go for it. We're on the offensive.
And then we want to go to the production tab. And then click on the infantry equipment. Then click on the create variant. And then press the little up button and the save. And then click on the weapon again just to lock it in. There we go. We're now producing those new variant which has the extra soft attack.
Perfect. And we continue. Hopefully going to grab some territory here.
That would be nice.
So, in a historical playthrough, remind me, is it just Germany that tends to send volunteers to Spain?
No, Italy does as well.
Italy does as well.
That's one of the reasons they kind of want to finish Ethiopia as quickly as possible, because if you're at war, you cannot send volunteers.
Right.
But I can see that there are actually some Italians directly to the north of where we're looking right now.
Flamethrowers. Okay, what are we doing with them?
Actually pretty quick. We could start producing some.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so how do we do that?
Production tab. Then we need to, I think, design one.
Okay.
I'm actually sure. I've never actually made these. So build armored vehicle. Yep. And then I think it's a module you add. So if we create a new variant of a light tank.
Okay.
I wouldn't use that one. I'd use one of the unassigned ones. So if you close this.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that one. Then choose the turret. You probably want something fairly cheap, so just do the fixed superstructure. Actually, no, these are breakthrough tanks, so actually we probably want a 3-man turret. Because one of the advantages of the 3-man turret is it gives you extra breakthrough. Then we want to choose the weapon, which is the next one, which I think is going to be the flamethrower. There it is.
There we go.
So choose the flamethrower. And then from the drop down, where it says light tank, flame, support company.
Oh, look at it.
So that gives soft attacks. And no, it doesn't actually give breakthrough. So actually we don't care about the turret.
Okay.
So superstructure just because it's cheap. And then we probably want to assign an MIO to this.
Okay.
So the little tank with the plus. We probably want these just to be cheap. So let's go with standardized. And then we can tweak armor and engine. So at the moment they're kind of slow, being just 7.3 kilometers. Motorized moves at 12.
Okay.
So that's kind of the optimal, but I don't think we necessarily need to hit that. So maybe try to go for 10.
10 engine?
Yeah. I mean 10 kilometers per hour,
Oh.
so you can see that on the right. Or until it's maxed out. 106 reliability is still excellent. That's fine. The last things we probably want to take a look at is the suspension.
Okay.
Which is the one on the far left, bottom left. So, tracked. So we have 4 different types. So if you just hover over each one, you can see what they do. So bogey is just your default, does nothing. Christie gives you extra speed, but costs you a little extra. Interleaves gives you extra breakthrough, but costs a lot more. Then the torsion is reliability. We don't need the reliability, so either bogey or Christie, depending on expense. And considering we're going for cheap, probably just bogey.
Let's go for bogey. Perfect.
And then armor.
Armor.
I think we stick with riveted because it's cheap. And then
then
the engine. Diesel is the cheapest, then gasoline will increase speed. I think probably gasoline, just keep that speed.
Okay.
And then, yeah, go ahead and save this. And then build it. With standard. It'll be at the bottom.
Yes. Now we have to add some factories to it. I'm going to move it above our navy so it's...
What?
No. Sorry, Gareth. It's just not that important to me. Right. We need to put some factories in here. So let's take some off.
Guns, probably. We'll have plenty of those in the future.
Yeah. And get some on here.
Gonna make as many flame tanks as we have tanks. Interesting, interesting.
Fantastic. That's what we're going for. Right. Back to the war. This everlasting battle. I'm going to try to speed 6 up a little.
What's a kilometer? Speak American. Kilometer.
Another focus done.
Excellent. Ooh, I see a research slot. I think we should probably get that.
Ooh, where's the research slot? There it is. Okay.
Yeah, so generally we have more than 50 civilian factories because we've been very good at building those. So yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to start keeping things a bit faster now that we've got a lot of the basics under control.
Yep. Growing expenses of rearmament. So this is warning us that we've hit 27% MEFO.
Okay.
We'll manage. But that's probably a good reminder to take a look at the price controls.
So we're at
27.
Okay.
So we don't want to do that one. In fact, what I would recommend doing is the little green icon next to the exploits the Gombos trade treaty is just remove that. Because if we take that one, it makes it less likely that Hungary will join the Axis in the future, which we don't want. We want them to join us. So wage controls would reduce our stability. Rations would reduce stability. Arbeitenbrot would increase fascism. That's actually just positive in every way.
Yeah.
Launch guns into before butter is war support. Increase. Ooh, that one's also good. In fact, let's do that one.
Okay. No more butter.
In fact, we could do both because they were just 5%, so let's also do Arbeitenbrot.
Let's go for it.
And we could even do rations. That would drop us down to... We just lost 10. We're at 27. Yeah, we can do that one too.
And we've also got some stuff about the Netherlands.
We do. So we could start trying to sway the Netherlands to join us if we wanted.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. There was a bug about this. Did I fix that?
It's all on you, bud.
Don't remember. So for now, let's say no, because that would also be ahistorical.
That's true.
And that is a good reminder that I need to double check if I fix that one or not.
That's true. That's true.
Because it used to be that the Netherlands would just never side with Germany, even if Germany was dominating the trade. I think I fixed that.
I hope you fixed it.
I think I did. I think it was one of the first things I did, but
Otherwise,
I don't
what have you
remember.
been doing for the past week, Gareth?
Not just the past week, past year.
I do hope everyone is enjoying Get to Damarung. The release went very well. We're pretty happy with it.
We're very happy with the release, yeah. Seems to have been pretty positive. Like, the reviews are still looking good.
Yes, absolutely. Just finished construction.
How long did it take to get the 1939 one? Just out of interest. So, if talking about min-maxing,
Okay.
what we could have done is got the first construction, the 36 construction, then the 37 before getting that 100% bonus, waiting for the 100% bonus, then applying it for the 39 to get that one twice as quickly, which would then be under my 360-day limit. We didn't play min-max, so that wasn't an option. But that's one of the ways you can kind of think ahead a little.
Yeah. Pre-planning.
Exactly. So maybe the 37 production bonus?
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's close enough. We're in December.
Okay. Now, do you think our tanks are good here, or do you think we should move them somewhere else?
Again, I think it kind of depends what our objective is. Because at the moment, we're just attacking into the big bulge. Might be more worthwhile trying to cut them in half.
Okay. Let's get our research going first.
That's too far ahead of time. Radio sounds good.
Radio's good. Okay. So where should we put them in?
Probably to the provinces to the right and try to cut across towards the coast, towards Valencia.
Okay.
Although that is into the mountains, so maybe let's get a little fancy. So if we right click on the dustbin, that's going to delete that order. Then we create a new front line. So in that little pocket where the mouse is right now, just in that one zone, and then choose a spear point. And then what we want to do is basically have it going south one tile. Yeah. And then go spear point again. And then Valencia.
Valencia.
So on Valencia itself. If you do the dustbin, we can make that a little neater. Not right click, just left click. And then delete that one. And then choose spear point again. And then just on Valencia.
Okay.
And then we want to use the edit tool.
Edit tool.
Which is that one. Then I can never remember which combination it is. But where the green hash is rather than the line. If you left click on that. And then drag it over to the previous.
Oh.
You've deselected it.
Yes, deselected. Okay.
So you want to drag that green line over to where the previous arrow is. So you
Here?
need to go one further.
One further. Okay. My eyes are not good. Right.
To the actual arrow there. So
Here.
it connects just like that. Perfect. And then control, left click on Valencia, then the arrow there. And that's going to assign your army to both of those arrows.
Mhm.
Then when you say go, they'll complete the first objective and then they'll start working on the second.
All right. Perfect. Well, let's get them in position first.
And also let them get their planning prep, which I think they should
Yes.
be able to do this time.
Perfect.
Tech. What do we get? We got our 1918 buff, so let's see if we can get one of the others. These are 38. So they are ahead of time, but not a huge amount. Is there anything we want more? Well, when's the artillery one?
Artillery.
That's 39. That's even further ahead. Tanks? Yeah, I think we can get the engine or the armor. Or medium 38. You know what? Let's go for the medium 38. Let's start
go for
making
that.
those.
Okay. Medium tank center?
Yes.
So,
Perfect.
so our army.
Is not yet going. I'd actually manually right-click where that tile is.
Yeah, get them going.
They're going through a battle thing at the moment, so press H to tell them to halt. And then click on the free tile to the right, and then hold down Shift, and then the one where you want them to end up in.
There we go.
And they're being attacked, but that's fine. Just let them fight there. They'll move down after they're done.
All right.
We
How
have
are
a
we doing in
focus.
chat
We have a
right now?
focus. We have a focus. Possibly the accelerates the rearmament program, so we can actually start getting some military factories.
Let's get it. It also modifies the meeple bills.
It does, which will make constructing military factories faster, which is good.
Perfect.
And then we have a research, because we've got the new research slot.
Perfect.
So we're up to 5 now, which is awesome. So I think now we probably want the engine and armor.
All right. Which one should we go for first?
Engine.
Okay.
And let's do this on MAN as well. Oh, that's true, yes. One little tip to look at the unplanned defenses is if we, on the right-hand side, you have the different map modes, Army, Navy, Air. The arrow pointing to the left, and then states. Now, this will give an overview of all where the different state locations are, but most importantly, this will also show which bonuses are applied to those states. So we can see that we have the unplanned offensives. So if we zoom out a little bit, we're looking for where those icons are. So can we see any states that don't have unplanned offensives? I think they're on the left. Salamanca and Extremadura, I think, don't have it. So if we move our tanks over to that side instead of going for Valencia, they'll have an easier time attacking and be more effective.
Okay, shall we do that instead?
Yeah, so let's go back to, yeah, okay, I did it automatically. Right-click on that. And then, yeah, let's create a breakthrough, probably right where Salamanca is,
Where Salamanca
in
is.
the north. You want to create the front line.
Okay. Small one?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. This I'm so
Oh.
used to fighting on the Republican side. I was looking in the other direction.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so if you just left-click on that state, do they have unplanned offensive there? To the right. They do. Okay, never mind. So set up the Valencia attack. Let's just stick with that.
Okay.
It's good practice. Let's get this whole set up again.
Okay. Front line here.
Yep.
And then spearhead here. And then here. And then
Control.
control click. And that's us.
That's us. And then, yeah, wait until they have their planning prep, which is nearly done.
Hmm.
And then you can say go. Go.
Let's go.
Let's see if they go. Why are they not going? I'm going to guess it's because of supply, although they seem to have enough. Okay, rearmament program is done.
Yeah.
So we probably want to do one of the next two under that.
Concentrate or establish production lines. Let's see.
Production lines gives us
Yeah.
more MIFO bonuses.
Let's go for it. Perfect. And we need to do a research.
Yep. So that was the armored train, I think.
Yes, it was.
So maybe logistics company or field hospital.
Okay, let's go for logistics.
This is probably Opel or,
Oh.
or both. Actually, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Um,
We have a MIO. Mauser. Now we can do the production. Yes, you want to click that. And then go to the production tab. And then click on the small arms at the top.
small arms.
Infantry equipment, sorry.
Okay.
And then just click on infantry equipment, and that just replaces it with a new model.
More stuff today. Government. We've got a bunch of political parties now.
We do! So probably time for another advisor.
Okay, let's see who can we do. Only 3.
So the Reichsminister of Church Affairs does what? Political power, resilience. No, we don't need that. Reichsminister for Labour. More useful. We'll hit our stability a little, but that's okay. We're not occupying any territory, so just the production outputs. Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good.
We're not in a bad place. Let's go for this.
Yep.
Okay. And then 3 military factories. Let's pop them on.
Maybe some more light tanks.
Yeah. Go there.
Perfect.
Right. What are these guys up to?
Yeah, they're not attacking as we told them to, so I'd say just right-click on where the one guy is, and they'll just attack there. Because I'm fairly sure that they can punch through that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So one of the reasons you don't want to do manual selections like we're doing now is the planning preparation goes down significantly faster than if you just use battle plans.
Ah, yeah, okay. Also, Spain's splitting up even more.
How come we're still on partial mobilization? Right, we're fascist. We could have switched to war once we have 50 war support. You can tell how often I play fascists. I just don't. I'm one of the very, very few players that prefers playing... No, the war economy, not mobilization. Sorry, it is mobilization. We could do war economy if we had 50 war support. We're at 49. We had 50.
Ah! So close. Okay. Gotta keep an eye on these things.
Yes.
Anyway, Spain split into 3.
Oh, so they have. And one of the Republicans got separated too. What a shame.
Makes our job easier.
Yeah, in fact, chat, which ideology do you usually prefer playing as? Democratic, non-aligned, fascist, or communist? Because I'm definitely one of the democratic players.
I tend to like playing Democratic as well, actually.
Yep, more military factories sounds good to me.
New special project.
We do. We could do the military engineering vehicles for the better assault engineers.
Engineers. But yeah, okay. Sorry, I blanked out for a second. Which one?
Military engineering.
There we go. Okay, get that going. More MIO.
This is the support equipment one, so we
Yes.
want to do all the ones on the left.
Okay, go for that. And then more military factories. Let's just shove them more in tanks. Keep that going for a little bit, and then
We probably also at one point want to try to get some more planes going too.
yeah, absolutely.
With reorganization of the Wehrmacht, you should have over 50% war support. Okay, good tip.
We're moving into Valencia.
Excellent. Oh, the front line has shifted though.
Ah,
So you probably want to hold down Alt, and then where the circle is, you can click and drag that around to where you want it to be. The new front line, I think, is right-click. Alt right-click on it. There you go. And then what you can do is Alt right-click on the other side to remove it from that side. Perfect, just like that. And then you probably want to use the dustbin to remove the attack plan on the left. So just click on Suenza, and now they'll just go for Valencia. There you go. They move across, and they immediately attack it.
there we go.
And take Valencia. You've cut them in half. Congrats. Castles in the air. Design a plane with certain air defense value. And have 100 of them.
There we go.
Okay, so probably want to help them close up that northern pocket. So
Yeah.
just control left click on that northern front line and then give it a plan.
Your head for
And then you probably want to trash can the left one.
yeah.
Just so
There we
they don't get confused. And then give them the order to go. I don't think you need the planning prep for this necessarily.
go. Okay. First, Denmark wants to speak to us.
A Danish delegation has approached us with a trade proposal. Denmark produces a large amount of food produce, which we have imported quite a lot of. Historically, they recently devalued their domestic currency, the krona, making the agricultural goods far more competitive. This trade agreement could prove to be a boon for us, as it would secure food for our population and strengthen our supply lines.
Shall we accept your, Denmark's request?
So this would increase the consumer goods that we use, but it does give us a bunch of supply bonuses. And supply can be a problem, especially when we do Barbarossa.
Okay. Then let's go for this then. Let's let Denmark have the trade.
And
Okay.
also launch the attack. And if you escape, you'll get rid of that screen. Perfect. They are last standing, so they're going to take extra damage, but you punch through them anyway. And you have a research slot.
We do. It's so difficult to keep track of everything and stream at the same time. I don't know how you do it. Like, my brain is going like a million miles an hour.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, and sometimes chat suffers. Sorry, chat.
Should we go for our next?
I think we should.
Perfect. Let's do it.
And how far along are we in the next focus? Very nearly.
Close to finish.
So the suggestion was with reorganization of the Wehrmacht, so we can get that 50% war support.
Let's do it. Oh no, the Hindenburg.
And also to answer the previous question, communist. Democratic is boring, fascist feels easier. I hear that a lot. Depends on the focus tree, historical Finland, Brazil. Brazil apparently is a new ideology.
Damn. We should start adding Brazil to every country.
Yeah. How much Brazil are you? Yes.
I was watching one of our co-workers play a very cursed game the other day where they were playing and then all of a sudden Brazil, Argentina and Chile decided to get involved in Europe.
Interesting.
Took over most of it. Okay.
All right, so we probably don't care that much about the anarchists in the north, so let's focus on the Republicans. Ooh, we've taken Madrid though. That's nice. Maybe continue along the coast because it's nice and flat.
Sounds good.
So when you're doing the front lines, you're staying where you want your troops to end up, not necessarily the routes they're taking.
Oh yeah.
Notice you've done that a few times.
Yeah, like I said, chat, I'm not very good at the game.
Because if you do a front line a little further away, so say Granada,
Yeah.
then you can see with the arrow. So do that, that's fine. Then go to the edit mode. And then with the green hash is the path your units are taking. So just to show you how this works, if you left click and drag, then move the blue all the way to the top, you can see the arrows moving. So they're going to go via that province as well.
Okay. Let's move it down to the coast for now.
Yeah, perfect.
And we'll get our,
And then attack.
get everyone
In
over
fact,
there
this time you probably do want the planning prep.
first. Yeah, I want them to get ready first.
So again, I think it's probably time to do a staff office plan. So before you click on that, do the staff office plan just so they get it really quickly. And then, yes, focus. Reorganization of the Wehrmacht.
Okay, we're
Let's use the search. So type to search. Then just do reorg. And that's that one. Perfect. And tanks, yep, have it already because
go.
that just does it really fast, and then off they will go.
Or at least they should start going.
When you want pause. You have no idea how many times I've done that. You are not alone in making that that error. It's like, why are my troops not moving? I gave you the order. Come on, attack. Oh, you paused. Right.
God damn. Okay.
Also, we have military factories. We should probably
Okay.
use them.
More tanks.
Planes. Let's go planes.
You want planes?
I want planes.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably try to get up to 5, maybe even 10 factories on planes.
Yeah.
Don't think we need the mediums. I usually just get rid of the mediums, actually.
Okay. Put 10 there so you can go into there when we need them.
Perfect.
Yeah, a lot of people in Hindenburg did survive. I just noticed that. It's a really fascinating historical moment.
Mhm.
I think most of the people that ended up dying was inside the ship itself rather than the passenger bit.
Oh. Wait, they were in the ship bit?
Yeah, there was like walkways inside the actual balloon. And
Course.
people would maintain it in there.
So that was the crew.
Yes.
Interesting. Makes sense. Because, yeah, when I was younger, I was just kind of assumed the entire balloon was just filled with hydrogen. But no, they have like little pockets, mini balloons inside of it that were the hydrogen, so you could walk around in there.
Opal or Carl? We went with Carl before.
We did. Let's go with Carl.
Okay. And save our political power because we're about to get some more war support.
We want to save it, yes, until we have the Wehrmacht reorganized.
Which will be done in just a moment.
Soon. So soon. Okay. And then now we can get... No. Yep.
Yeah, click the wrong one.
Yep. War economy. Let's do it.
There we go.
And now our economy should be absolutely zooming along,
Perfect.
just like our attack into Spain.
All right. So we've reorganized the Wehrmacht. Where should we go next?
Probably back to economy, just to make sure we have everything there that we want. Coal liquefaction, I don't think is that useful. Reichsautobahn, I don't think is that useful. Okay, I think we're basically done here. What do we need? Well, what does subsidize? Hosh. Oh, that's also synthetics. Nah, not important. So yeah, let's start thinking about some politics.
Politic time. Then just keep an eye on our time as well. So we have to
Yeah.
finish at 3.
We should probably actually finish in about 5 minutes, just
Yes.
so we have time to wrap up.
All right, then let's pick something.
We could do Legion Condor, which is the Spanish Civil War focus on the far right.
That's true. Do that.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Let's do that. Modify government. This guy's only 50 political power. Do we need him? Mr. Ribbentrop?
Don't think so.
Okay.
And we have civilian factories. We can build some more factories. Excuse me.
Fantastic. All right. Where do we want to build them? Civilian, or should we go for military now?
We could either do civilian or military or synthetic if we want to start getting some rubber going. And actually, I think synthetic might be a good option, especially as we're now starting to build more aircraft.
Okay, let's do that.
So you can build up to 3 of these in each state. So I would just fill up the 100s. And just let those finish.
Do that. See how our fight is going over here.
I would, I think, shorten that front line, seeing as you only have the 2 divisions. Perfect. Because that way you can really concentrate where your units are attacking.
Exactly.
And you want that concentration of force when you're using tanks. Like you want to punch through little bits of the line rather than going for the whole line at once.
Got some forced attack from our allies here. And well done, Amelia Earhart.
Circumnavigated, so this is not the worst of all possible worlds. Hindenburg crashed, so it's not the best of all possible worlds.
It's just a middle ground.
It's the possible worlds.
It's not the dark timeline yet.
No. The Spanish are last standing. I actually kind of like it when I fight against people last standing because it means they take strength damage instead of organization.
Yeah.
Which longer term will hurt you more. Like there are definitely a time and a place to use force attack and force defense.
So I have to ask Gareth, since we're coming up on the end of the stream,
Mhm.
is this a save we want to keep, or do we want to nuke the world?
I think we'll keep this save.
Okay, we'll keep this save.
Yes. We'll need to ask SVP to send us a copy of it so that we can come back to this in the future.
Absolutely. I will put a save up right now, actually.
Yes, so I think we probably should start wrapping this one up. So, yeah, do you have any last thoughts you want to bring in before we call this one a day?
For me, this has been very insightful because even though I can play the game, I've learned lots of different tips I haven't used in my own playthroughs before. So that's very helpful. Thank you, Gareth, and thank you, chat, for joining us and sitting with us as we over-explain every complicated mechanic in this game.
And also for the tips. Yeah, the expand the Wehrmacht, for example, allowed us to get the war economy. So chat is always really, really helpful because you do provide us insights too.
Exactly. We may develop the game, but we can miss things.
Yes.
All the time. All the time.
No, we are completely infallible in every way.
That's true. Perfect.
Perfect. Anyway, that's going to be a goodbye from me and also a goodbye from Eilidh.
Goodbye from me as well. Thank you for joining me for my first ever stream.
Indeed. And we will see you all next time.
Catch
Until
you
then.
later. Bye.
There's an end button here somewhere. There
You
it
got
is.
it.